Hey guys, it's Carla from the Paper Trail. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to show you how to make giving cash gifts a little more thoughtful and interesting. So I've done 5 of these different styles, so I'll just kind of walk you through each one. So this one I'm just cutting the center out of a paper plate and then drawing crosshairs on it. And so I'm using that as a template. And see how I'm lining up those crosshairs with the circle? And each time you trace this, you're going to do the same thing. So like right here, I'm lining that line up with the circle and the other line up with the circle. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Make those little scalloped shapes all the way around both of the circles. And then I'm going to cut it out as one piece. Now after I cut this out, and I missed the video on this, but I covered it with wrapping paper on one side, so I just glued it with wrapping paper. And now I'm going to use a stylus to go over each one of those lines and kind of score it so that it will fold easily. So I'm just going around and folding each little section so that it will close the way I want it to. And it's very simple. It just kind of comes together like that. And then I want to distress the edges to give it a little more character, I guess, and a little more contrast and definition. So I'm going to go around and do that all the way around on the inside and the outside. And now I want to do the same thing on the outer edges after it's closed as a box. And then I'm just going to make a ribbon. I'm just putting the edges together and kind of making a little V shape there. And then I'm going to find the center of the ribbon, the halfway point, and start it on the top, bring it around and cross it on the bottom, and then back up and tie a bow on the top. So I think that's a cute little way to give cash to somebody without it seeming so impersonal. And now for this one, I'm using a toilet paper roll and flattening it out and covering it with wrapping paper again. And you don't have to use wrapping paper. You could use just any kind of printed paper. So I'm going to cover the whole thing and then cut off the excess at the top. And then I'm going to glue the bottom edge together to close it up. And I'm just trimming this out with some lace. You can really get creative with this, maybe depending on who you're giving it to. And then I've torn a circle out of some cardstock and stamped it with happy birthday, and I'm gluing that to the front, and I distressed those edges. And then you just fold this in. You don't even have to score this. You just fold it in, and it's closed up. Now for the third one, I'm folding a piece of, this is actually mixed media paper. So I folded it so that I have 2 layers, and I'm tearing it into a square. So now I'm going to glue those 2 layers together, and the only reason I'm doing this is to make it stronger. So if you're using stronger paper, then you don't have to do that. And now with eyeshadow and a makeup brush, I'm giving it some color. And if you're using paper that already has a print on it or whatever, that's fine, and you don't have to color it. But if you're using white paper, this is a nice way to add color to it. And I cut a little piece that's the width of the bottom, and then I'm gluing 3 sides of it and putting it on as a pocket. And then I'm stamping it with different stamps, and it's a little pocket for money. And now the fourth one is going to end up being a scroll. So I've taken some paper and covered one side with wrapping paper, and then I use stamps on the other side. And what you do is you cut this a little larger than a dollar bill, and then roll the dollar bill up in it. And I'm tying it with twine, but you can use whatever, ribbon or whatever. And then it's easy to just unroll, and it kind of gives them a little, kind of a card and a gift at the same time. And now the last one is, I used a 3-inch square and then a 3-inch circle. So whatever size your square is, that's what size your circle needs to be. And then you make these little scalloped edges. And I'm covering it with wrapping paper. I think these are really cool ways to give cash, and if you're like me, you cannot please, especially a teenager, you can't please them with a gift. I don't know what they like, I guess. So I just usually give them cash. That's what they want. But I don't want to just give them cash without, kind of dressing it up a little bit. So I think this is a neat way to do it. So these are all fairly simple, but in case you hadn't thought of them, it's just a little nice way to do it. And you can use ribbon or twine or whatever for this. Again, I'm starting it in the front, then wrapping it around in the bottom, and bringing it up and tying it. Now, with this twine, I'm kind of coating it in glue so that I can curl it, and then when it dries, it'll stay curled. So there you go. So there's 5 ways to give cash. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And thank you so much for watching. And God bless you guys.